Abundance isn't my job. I am the gardener, not what is growing, necessarily. Obviously, I can also be what's growing, but the part of me that enacts its organizing will doesn't need to cause things to grow. And I think when we engage our creative faculties to acquire more abundance in that direct way, it is a symptom of fear or incompleteness or dissatisfaction with what we have already gained. And the real remedy to that dissatisfaction, the balancing agent to that fear or whatever it may be, is, in my opinion, what I've been thinking as I've walked around this garden, the true creative act, which is to bring nourishment and artistry to what I do have within my domain, my responsibility, my possession, and make it beautiful. If I grow a garden, it's because I set conditions and it grew well because what I did was beautiful. I watch myself over and over again become fascinated by a certain type of flower. And I mean flower metaphorically, whatever it is that I become enthralled by, that I want to see grow. And I think a childish way, or like an immature way to approach it, is to get the flower. Maybe you buy the expertise or the tools to make it survive or make it beautiful, but then at a certain point there is an unconscious, I would say, switch from nourishing the thing to reacting to that sense of incompleteness, which is basically just our connection to something that is incomplete conceptually and impermanent, literally. We want to acquire more, and so I buy more of the thing, or I expand the domain of the thing. I build a bigger garden. And I think it's a pretty subtle switch, because there is this, again, like expansion and acquisition of abundance in reaction to that feeling of incompleteness, or that connection to incompleteness, conceptual incompleteness, and that like only an idea can present something as incomplete. Nothing is incomplete because nothing is comparable to anything else in a true way. I can't compare me to you and by that comparison decide that one of us is not all the way what we are or what we're supposed to be. So if I, again, trying to be organized in how I kind of move through the narrative of this idea, but I kind of think of it like a bonsai tree is a cool example. So, I think, I don't know who bought this garden. I think it was a wealthy family or a prince or something. We're in Egypt right now. But having had experience myself with getting a bonsai tree and slowly learning the art of it, and then having gone a little too far with it and getting a bunch of bonsais and then not really fully taking care of any of them, I feel more and more sensitive to the difference there is in continuously expanding the skillfulness with which I take care of the things that I've chosen to be the caretaker of. And I have experienced the hollowness of using money or power or influence to simulate the experience of being the caretaker of something like a garden by buying ownership of it and then buying the agreement for others to take care of it. And so it's a little bit empty for both ends in that I don't experience the richness of actually caring for it and becoming more skillful in that relationship dynamic, and the person taking care of it doesn't feel perhaps the freedom of being the agreed upon owner of the thing. And ownership's an agreement between people, and so it's really about them and I having a disagreement about who owns it, which is intrinsic in that they are acting out ownership and I am feeling ownership. So I think the caretaker still kind of comes out more fulfilled in that idea. But anyway, so it just struck me that I have been attempting to fill a sense up of relational fullness by expanding my possessions in relation to the thing I feel fascinated by, instead of expanding my connection to the thing through the dance of me learning its language, of what it needs to thrive and be beautiful, and then in that way me understanding myself and what is beautiful to me and how to grow that relationship through, like, myself and this bonsai tree, for example. And I just see how the more that one focuses on the relationship in that way and embodying love in that way, not only does abundance naturally come out in a way that's sustainable and organic and amazing and really what we want, it's able to come through in all ways and from all directions. Because I'm strengthening my relational vibrance, light, value. And so all other pieces of life that could connect to the ecosystem that I'm becoming the center of are able to, and they want to, because I'm becoming a nourishing ecosystem. And I think that's one of the big gifts of potential that we have as very creative and interesting monkeys, is we are like an ecosystem, I'm forgetting the word for it, like a keystone. We are an ecosystem keystone if we want to be. And so we can become this thing that all life gravitates towards and connects to and harmonizes with everything else in order to be a part of what we are offering. And I think that's really a direct way to experience one's own innate quality that we call divinity. I think it feels very divine and godlike to do something like that, to the point where life begins to be universally drawn towards you.